My name is Michelle. I'm from Bloom Entertainment by Design. The Getting Hitched series came about because I had chatted to heaps of couples that were finding it really hard to connect with potential suppliers without meeting them face to face. So I thought it would be a great idea to offer a forum which would bring together couples and suppliers for what potentially, I guess, is a little bit of a meet and greet. The Getting Hitched series is going to run every Monday night for the next 5 weeks, and we've got a total of 25 suppliers that will be represented. I hope you can join us for all of the sessions because there's going to be a whole heap of different suppliers to meet along the way. Each week, we're going to have a variety of different suppliers. We're going to have entertainers, we will have photographers, videographers, wedding planners, makeup artists, everything that you can think of. So we've been really, really lucky that the industry has jumped on board to support us providing the podcast. And we feel really fortunate that we've had so many people already respond and coming along as well. So thank you for that. That's awesome. Bloom Entertainment is a boutique entertainment agency based in Melbourne, and we represent bands, DJs, MCs, dancers, spotlight performers, and roving entertainers as well. We work with over 100 professional performers who are all unique and individual in their own ways and in what they offer. So we feel really lucky that we can work alongside couples to find out what entertainment suits their guests, their wedding themes, their vision, and help you negotiate and navigate your way through all of the different possibilities. Because as we know with most wedding suppliers, there's so many different possibilities and so many amazing suppliers out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the right supplier for you or for your wedding or for your guests. As far as entertainment goes, I'm not going to talk too much about Bloom. We're actually, each week we will have a different entertainer coming along from Bloom Entertainment, and they're going to talk a little bit about themselves. So I thought rather than doubling up on information you might hear or might like to hear from the performer themselves, that I would probably just look at giving you maybe my 3 top tips for booking entertainment in the next 12 months. So the things that we're talking with couples about at the moment is dream big, but book small. So right now we're recommending that if you've got an entertainer that you love, book that entertainer in a small capacity. So at least you know you've got them booked in for exactly what you want for on your wedding day. So you might love to have that entertainer in a band, for example, as a 5-piece lineup for your band, for your wedding. But right now, what we're saying to people is, if you do love a certain entertainer, book them as a duo. So maybe the vocalist along with a guitarist, or along with a keys player, or maybe even along with a DJ. And what that means is that your guests have someone to engage with through the night. So by having a couple of performers there on the night, they're more likely to have a chat and be engaging and also engage with your guests on the night as well. And then when you get closer to your wedding, if things have opened up a little bit and we go, hey, you can actually have more people at your wedding, or you can have more entertainment, then look at increasing it then. So dream big, but book small for now, but make sure you get the suppliers that you're after. If there's someone that you love and you want at your wedding, please don't wait too long. Make sure you do book them, because not only do we have 6 months of bookings that we have had to look at postponing and cancelling in the industry, but we've also got the last 6 months of potential couples who are waiting and haven't booked yet. So when things do open up, it will be quite quick, and lots of really good industry providers already booked a year and a half to 2 years in advance. So we do know that that's going to all happen very, very quickly. My second bit of advice is, for entertainment wise, if you can't have a dance floor, make your dance floor a stage. So yes, in the next probably 6 months, we may not be able to have our family and our friends hop on the dance floor and have a dance with us. But that doesn't mean that your wedding needs to be boring or that you don't have any entertainment. So take the opportunity to do something really different and make it a lot of fun. You can have things like booking dancers or maybe a spotlight performer. So if you love theatre, have someone come up and do some theatre. If your family are a particular cultural background, have something maybe that links into that. We do a lot of that kind of stuff anyway, but it is a really good opportunity to have something that's really unique and special to your night. The last thing I will say, as far as my tips for entertainment goes, is book an MC. So even if you're having a small wedding, an MC is there to help you with all of your formalities on the night. They're there to make sure that everyone is doing what needs to be done. And right now, you don't want to be the bad guy at your own wedding. So if you know that there are going to be some kind of COVID restrictions, it's really good to have an MC to be able to keep all of that contained, keep it all in line so that you can have a really good time at your wedding and so that your night keeps flowing. So as I said, we have got entertainers going through, coming along for all of the Zoom sessions. So I'm not going to talk too much about what else Bloom gets to offer because you will get to see all of that yourself. What I would like to do is introduce one of the MCs that we work with, whose name is Sam Musket. Most of you have probably heard about Sam. He is an absolute professional and well-known in the industry. We're lucky enough to have had Sam working with us for the last 10 years. So he's definitely one of our most popular and favourite MCs. And I guess from our point of view as a company, we love having Sam on board because he is so professional and we always know that he's going to think of the couples first and make sure that they've got an amazing night. So one thing I do want to do just before I go is let you know that with all of the suppliers that are on tonight, they will be talking for 5 or 10 minutes, but then you've got the opportunity to ask some questions as well. So please, if you do have any questions that you want to ask the suppliers, you can do so in the chat button at the bottom of your screen. So yes, you will not be able to ask a question out loud for now, just because we have got a few people on the stream and we want to make sure that we've got the opportunity to keep it flowing. But if you do ask the question in the chat box at the bottom of your screen, which kind of looks like a little bit of an SMS pop-up, Sam will receive those questions and then he can ask the supplier those questions on your behalf. If we do have a whole heap of questions, we will certainly take those away and make sure that we get back to everybody after the session. That's all for me from now. For now, I'm going to pass it over to Sam to have a chat to you about the rest of the night.
Thanks, Michelle, and welcome everybody. Welcome to this virtual event. Yes, it is different, but I guess this is the new age of what 2020 is all about. So I'll welcome each and every one of you, together with my amazing friends and proud colleagues, may I say, within the industry. Just a quick overview in relation to who I am and what I'm all about. I've been an MC for nearly 20 years. I love what I do. And when someone asks me, how's the best way to describe yourself and the way you approach, your style for each wedding, honestly, I can say I treat every single wedding as if it's my first. So, because each wedding is different, it is unique, and very special. And I'm very humbled and very privileged to be part of that couple's special day. And I'm very, very proud to say that I've been doing that for 20 years, and even more so proud that I've had the opportunity to work with the Bloom family. I've known Michelle for over 10 years, and I'm just glad she's brought these unique and, individual talented people under one banner, which is literally at the fingertips of you people there that are zooming in tonight. And in the hope that we will make your wedding an amazing evening or day. Having said that also, with what Michelle did say, the opportunity for you to ask questions throughout the session is available to you. Please, I encourage you all. And please note, there is no silly questions. So ask away. If we don't get to it, we will park it and we will get back to you. And if there is somebody of particular interest to you that you wish to explore further for your function or in general, please reach out to Michelle. Take note of that person. But I can tell you now, we're going to have a range of 5 amazing speakers. We've got Sarah Ed, who is an amazing celebrant. I've had the opportunity to work with her for many years, and I run into her and I see her pop up all the time on my Facebook and Instagram page. She's got an amazing smile, an amazing approach. She is one of my preferred in Melbourne. I adore her. And I'm going to hand it over to her right now, because she's going to give us a quick overview in terms of what she's all about. And not only is she an amazing celebrant, she's an amazing coach. So, and by that, I'll let her explore and actually give you more detail as to what that's all about. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a virtual round of applause for my dear friend and our beautiful work colleague, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Sam. I've just turned my virtual background on. It's my wall of selfies. Amazing. Because I'm a little bit famous for my wall of selfies. Mm-hmm. I take selfies with all of my couples directly after the ceremony. And the beautiful thing about my wall of selfies is that you can see how happy they all are. It does make my hair look a little bit funny though, so just go with it. Thank you so much to Michelle from Bloom Entertainment for organising these great evenings. It's such a pleasure to be asked to be here and also to have the opportunity to chat to some hopeful brides and grooms who are looking at planning their weddings down the track. So what you can see from my wall of selfies is that I work with lots of different kinds of couples, all different ages, genders, shapes and sizes. What they all have in common is that they really value their ceremony and they want something really special and personalised to share with their family and friends to mark this really important transitional event. And that is what I do. I provide you with lots of ideas and suggestions of things you might like to include, but I want to hear your ideas too. Anything from the traditional to the completely wacky. I am good enough that I can manage anything you throw at me for your ceremony. I'm really good at the legal stuff. As Sam mentioned, I'm a bit of a trainer. I own one of the training organisations that teaches new celebrants. So if you have a tricky legal issue with your marriage, I can get that sorted for you super easy. It's no problem. But my process is really organised so that you never need to worry about chasing me up to make sure that your forms are signed or that they're all correct and they're lodged when they're supposed to be. I manage all of that for you. On the day, I'm probably going to be really excited because I really love what I do. I feel super lucky to have found this incredible work. So I'll probably be super excited, but above all, I'm looking around and I'm making sure that everything is okay so that you don't have to worry about anything at all. All you need to do is rock up, enjoy your ceremony, and then have an incredible reception. A few of the things that are really important right now during COVID that we've made or that I've made changes to for my ceremonies. Infection control is a huge one. All the people who are involved in my ceremonies get their own pen to sign the documents with. There's no sharing of pens. I have separate microphones for me and for other people using them for vows and so forth. And of course I have antibacterial wipes and things so we can make sure that everybody is clean and healthy and not sharing our germs with each other during the ceremony. Something that I would really encourage you to consider when you're thinking about booking your wedding, we are likely to have low numbers that can be at a wedding in the next 6 to 12 months. We might get to 50, we might get to more than that. It's really hard to tell at the moment. I would encourage you to think about doing your wedding a little bit differently. Have a lunchtime wedding. Have a morning ceremony, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Have your reception over lunch. And that will, you might not feel the pressure to have lots of dancing and those sorts of things if you have a slightly more chilled out lunchtime ceremony. That's one thing that you can do. Another thing to consider is that intimate weddings are just as beautiful and just as valuable as the biggest wedding you could possibly imagine. So I see lots of couples who are really concerned about, oh, I can't have the wedding that I always dreamed of, so I just won't get married right now. It's still okay to get married. And you know what? The most important thing is that you end up married to your person. That's the most important thing. The wedding is amazing and incredible, but if we have to make it a little bit smaller than you might have anticipated right now, we can still make it amazing. You can still have incredible entertainment, incredible food. Spend all that extra money on the food. You can still have a beautiful photographer and videographer, and you can still have an incredible personalized ceremony. So don't think about all the things that you can't have. Try to think about the things that you can have and make your day really special. I think that's it for me, Sam.
Thanks, Sarah. Look, while you're talking, some questions have come through, which is great. And I really like how you conveyed the scenario of really what is important about a wedding day, and that is the individuality of two very, very special people uniting together as one. So I think within this industry and also our client base, we need to keep that the key focus, and it's about two very, very special people, and us within the industry is to ensure no matter how many people they have, whether it is 10, 50, 100, or even more down the track, you know, the key focal point is just you two. So, and that's what our role is. And personally for me as an MC, that's what my focal point is purely, it's not about me. It's not about me being up there, being a show pony and saying to everybody, look at me. It's purely about the couple that's being united as one. Having said that, we've got one question that's come through already. Actually, we've got 3 questions that have come through for you, Sarah. So first question that has come up is, what's the process for getting married?
Sure. So there's a legal process and then there's a ceremony creation process. So the legal process involves filling in some paperwork and lodging that with your celebrant at least 1 month before the ceremony, and also showing your celebrant some identity documents, a birth certificate or a passport, evidence of who you are, of your identity, and if you've been married before, the evidence that that marriage is no longer valid or that has been terminated. And then there's some other paperwork that you fill in right before the wedding. The celebrant will fill it in for you, you just sign it, and some words that we say during the ceremony and some certificates to sign on the day. So that's the legal process. The ceremony creation process is really individual to every celebrant. We all do it in a slightly different way, and I encourage you to talk to the celebrants that you're interested in talking to about their process and how they operate, because you need to make sure that it's going to work for you. My ceremony creation process involves me giving you a booklet with lots of ideas and suggestions of things that you might like to include in your ceremony. We meet 3 months before the day to go through that booklet so you've had a really good chance to have a good look at it, decide what you'd like to include, what you don't want to include. We go through and we decide which bits of the traditional ceremony you'd like to include and which bits you want to leave out. We talk about who you'd like to have involved in the ceremony. If there's people that you'd like to do readings or to be involved in rituals or to bring the rings up, there's lots of different options there. We talk about whether or not you'd like your story to be told, whether you'd like the celebrant to talk about how you met, why you fell in love, what you're looking forward to about being married, all those lovely gushy things. And if you choose to include that, I get you to fill in some questionnaires. So I send you those questionnaires the day after our meeting. You fill those out and send those back to me, and I write a beautiful love story all about you. I've got lots of assistance available if you need help with writing your own vows, if you need help choosing music or choosing readings. I have lots of ideas and suggestions that I can help you out with. But as I said at the start, I want to hear your ideas too. And the wackier the better, quite frankly. Bring it on.
Fantastic. Just one quick question that has come through. What is the minimum time frame for someone to register to get married?
So at least 1 month before your ceremony, you need to book your celebrant and lodge paperwork with them at least 1 month before. That paperwork is then valid for 18 months. So you're good to go, even if you do need to postpone your wedding because, there's a pandemic. So you're totally fine. But you do need to have that paperwork lodged and your celebrant booked at least 1 month before. Don't leave it to the last minute. We're very different from America. A lot of people watch American movies where, they go to the courthouse and they get their license and they get married straight away. It doesn't work like that here. You must give 1 month's notice. So it's really important that you do look at booking your celebrant as early as possible.
That's great. Thank you. And finally, why is the ceremony so important to the day, to the actual wedding day?
The ceremony sets the tone for the rest of the day. Ultimately, the ceremony is the reason that we're there. It really is. The reception, the party, is there to celebrate the creation of the marriage between the two of you. So that ceremony, it's really important to get that right. It really sets the tone for the whole day. If your ceremony is up and funny and people are laughing and enjoying themselves, that's going to have a really great flow-on effect to the rest of your evening. And it's just going to make people really want to be there and really have a good time. So that's why the ceremony is so important. It really sets the scene, it sets the tone, and it's why we're there. It's ultimately why we're there.
That's great. And one thing I can add to that in my own personal experiences as well is the fact that, the great thing about the ceremony, I know numbers are key in a wedding. And, when we do have our reception, we want to invite everybody and anybody. And unfortunately, we can't. There's a huge cost factor involved. The great thing about a ceremony, from my perspective, is the fact that you can invite really anybody. And everybody can come to this ceremony. And, seeing you actually, unite with your partner is actually quite special. And you can share that with more than just your guest list for the evening. Would you agree with that, Sarah?
Absolutely spot on. Yeah. Extras can come. Obviously not right now, but generally extras can come to the ceremony. And it's so lovely to give them the opportunity to see you all decked out in your outfit and to share in that special moment when the two of you become, a married couple, because it's such a lovely, special moment in the journey of a couple, for want of a better word. That's a terrible word. Don't use it. But it's a really special moment, and it's lovely to have as many people as possible who can be there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for your always valuable contribution. You're amazing. We love you. Melbourne loves you.
We love you too.
And,
thanks, Sam.
And thank you so much for your contribution tonight. So thank you. So I guess from wedding celebrancy and ceremonies, one key factor to a ceremony, which is part of your wedding, is filming. So I think it's very good that we have the opportunity to capture that special day on film and keep that as memorable for many, many, many years to come and generations that follow. So I'm going to hand it over to another good friend of mine, Andrew Fenaughty. He is from Bottlebrush Films. I've had the privilege to work with him before. It's always a delight, Andrew. So I'm going to hand it over to you, mate.
Oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah. We're actually not here necessarily to talk about just filming tonight. With the way that things have gone this year, we have gotten into live streaming weddings, and it wasn't something that we planned, much like much of 2020. But my cousin actually got married just a month or two into the pandemic. It was at a time where there could be no more than 5 people at a wedding. And they've got 2 little kids, and I think that they took the opportunity to have a micro wedding where they couldn't actually have anyone because they're always pretty low key, and that was something that suited them. But they asked, and I offered if I could live stream it to their parents and to everyone that couldn't be there. And that's sort of how this started for us. I'm not usually an emotional person, but even now thinking about it, I get a little bit choked up because I set the camera up and the internet connection and the audio for them. And we drove back home to Melbourne and watched them getting married in front of 2 of their friends. And it was quite special and just so powerful and, almost pretty emotional. It was really, really nice. And I think if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that, you know, those shared experiences with all of our loved ones and our friends and family are so important. You know, that's never been more true than this year. And I know that even right now, the most that we can have at a wedding ceremony is 10 people at a time. So live stream is something that's, you know, super invaluable to be able to share that with people. And that's why we've gotten into it and started offering it. We do it properly with our professional cameras, the same ones that we use to shoot all of our films. We use the same audio equipment that we used to record vows normally as if we were shooting the wedding normally. And we give people a copy of their ceremony at the end of it all as well. And that can be in 4K or professional audio. And I think with everything that we've learned this year, there's nothing more important than those memories. And I really passionately believe that. You might not be able to tell, but I'm actually using the exact same setup that we use now. This is my professional camera that I'm using as a webcam. And you might have noticed I've got a little mic here, and that's exactly how we do it for the live stream. So it's all pretty low key, and it's easy and it's simple, and we keep it that way. And it's just something that's so special to people.
It's great. Andrew, we talk about live streaming, and we hear the term live streaming quite often in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Exactly. For a ceremony, what is it and how will it work?
Yeah, so basically we set up one or more cameras and we do a live stream via Zoom, and we record to the camera as well for safekeeping. I guess the difference between just using your phone to do something like that is that with professional live stream, we use microphones like this, and we've got white mics and black mics, so that if someone's wearing white or black, we can adjust accordingly. It's the little things like that. And we put one usually on the celebrant and one on you or your partner, so we can hear all the vows and all the ceremony, not just the vows, but what the celebrant's saying. Because if there's someone as good as Sarah, you're going to want to be hearing that. And it's just literally just the camera set up near the back of the aisle, so that everybody can see what's going on. And the beautiful part about using Zoom is that you can come up to your family and friends at the end of the ceremony and actually say good day and see their smiling faces. And I think that's priceless in a time where for a lot of people that's impossible, whether it's due to interstate border closures or people being overseas. We've had live streams already where people have dressed up at 4 a.m. in Italy to tune in and watch, and they've gotten their suits and their dresses on still as if they're part of the ceremony and toasting people with good red wine. And, you know, that's what's really special and why we enjoy doing this.
That's great. Brilliant. And obviously, and I hate using this term, stock standard weddings outside of COVID, we get a copy of our wedding ceremony and our wedding day. I assume the same thing adheres to this as well, or?
In terms of?
Obtaining a copy of your actual wedding video and filming and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we deliver a copy of the live stream within 48 hours via digital download as well, so people can share that nice and quickly. Yeah, and I mean, this might be something that's people who weren't getting a wedding video could consider as well, because it's a lot cheaper. It's a bit more lo-fi than your average wedding video, but it's still your memories. And when we do wedding videos, we give people the raw footage. It's not perfect, but this is the same sort of thing. It still means a lot to people. I think we as filmmakers get caught up in technical perfection and everything, but there's a reason that people value their home videos so much. They're not technically perfect, but they're people's memories, and that's priceless.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, being in this industry for so many years, your industry is so valuable, and I cannot encourage enough to anyone that's on here right now that's planning to get married and walk down the aisle to, really consider having this, because you will kick yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
Because the one thing about film is it captures that one thing that you may not see.
Exactly.
On the day yourself. And I hear this a lot from my client base, that the day is like a blur for the bride and groom, or the groom and the groom, or the bride and the bride. And it's very, very common. Yeah. So, and then they look back, see their vision, and they go, oh, wow, this actually happened.
Yeah, and there's nothing more special than that. And even some of the films that we've done in the past, we've watched as the bride and groom or the couple have had a young family, and we've got one couple with a 5-year-old now, and she's starting to watch their wedding video that we filmed all those years ago, and how valuable that is for them as a family to be able to watch together.
Absolutely.
It's really nice. And we do have a COVID safe plan as well these days. I know Sarah touched on using alcohol swabs and separate mics. We do exactly that. I used to work at the ABC in live television, so I know a thing or two about those sorts of practices. So if people are worried about that, they don't need to be. We're all over it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Andrew. As always, a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that are watching, Andrew is from Bottlebrush Films. And like from all our suppliers here this evening, you can obtain the details directly from Bloom Entertainment by design. Michelle will be more than happy to distribute contact details, etc., of all our suppliers here this evening. So we're going to move along onto our next speaker. But before we do, we hope you are all relaxing, enjoying this virtual session. If you haven't got a drink, grab one. If you're having dinner, I hope you're enjoying your dinner, and keep on tuning in. And our next speaker is a very, very special lady. Now, I'm a bit biased here because I know her personally, and she's very, very dear to me. And her name is Georgia Byrne. She's an amazing, amazing vocalist. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, she sings from the heart, and her voice just comes down from heaven. She's an amazing woman. And so don't get all emotional on me now, Georgia. But yeah, I'd like to hand it over to her, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful introduction. I was actually lucky enough, thanks to Michelle from Bloom Entertainment, to sing with Lorenzo at Sam's wedding, which was beautiful, and it was such a special night. So it's great to be here, and I'll just launch and talk about myself. I've been singing at weddings for 10 years now, maybe 13 years, and it's one of my favourite things to do. I absolutely love being part of someone's special day. And the very first wedding I ever did was for my best friend, and I never planned to do weddings, but it just happened, and then I just fell in love with being a witness to someone's special day. I just think there's nothing more magical than that. You know, I sing at jazz bars and corporate events, but just being there for someone on that day is so incredible. So thanks to Bloom Entertainment for having me tonight. And I guess the thing that I want to mention when I perform at weddings is that I think I like to sing a lot of different styles. So I've had a lot of kind of experience with ceremonies. I've done a lot of ceremonies both on my own or with a male vocalist, Lorenzo. So, and I sing a lot at ceremonies, and I love that. So at a ceremony, something that I would offer is myself and a piano player, or myself and a guitarist. But also I love adding strings to that. So if the couple want a sort of different feel for their day, I love, whether it's in a church or in a garden or wherever it is, I love adding strings to that line up in the ceremony sort of side of things. I also really think it's really important to have a really special connection with the bride before, or bride and groom before their wedding, just to talk about what songs mean something to them. Sometimes I know it's hard for people to choose a song, so I always like to suggest a song. But if there's a song that you have always loved, or that, you know, you and your partner always, it's special to you, I prefer to sort of work with the couple in that side of things. But also I've sung at so many weddings, I know what works as well, so I can make suggestions. I like doing my own arrangements of the cover song that I'm singing at someone's wedding as well. And then I love doing the pre-drinks before the reception. So after the ceremony, one of my favourite things to do is the pre-drink section, which I have a jazz band that I can work with, myself and a piano player, myself and a double bass player and a saxophone. So I have lots of lineups, but that's a really great thing for when everyone's sort of finished the ceremony and the formalities are over and people just want to relax. And if that is part of it, I love to do sort of the pre-drink section. And also for the reception, my band comes up to a 10-piece band with even a horn section, if that's what someone wants to get. And I also sing with a DJ band. So I have a few different setups that I can do for someone's wedding. And obviously Michelle can, you know, arrange all of that too, being the person that would book me. And in this COVID time, I guess, you know, it's good to be honest. I haven't done any weddings during this time. But I know that at first it's going to be when people are booking music for their weddings, it's going to be something that would have to look at to have like a much smaller lineup. And with my smaller lineups, I could still get, you know, a lot of people having a great vibe, even though we might not be able to have dance floors for a while. I guess that's something to mention. But yeah, so don't have to have such a big band to still get a dance floor. So and the other thing is I have a really large song list. So having sung at weddings for 13 years, I just want to cater for the bride and groom. So whether it be your favourite jazz song or a beautiful ballad, or, you know, getting everyone up dancing to top 40, I can do it all with my band. So yeah, I think they're the main things to go over. And also I think it's really important to have a lot of conversations with the bride and groom before it. So in terms of what songs you want, or if there's any special moments I need to announce, obviously that would be more of an MC job, but I can do those little things too. So that's it for now. If anyone has any more questions, or Sam.
Thank you.
That's all
we did
right.
one question that's come through.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, two questions that come through.
Oh, that's good.
It says, Georgia, what do you like about singing at a wedding?
Yes. I sort of touched on it before. I think it's such a special day when two people are coming together that have decided to dedicate their lives to each other. It's such a beautiful thing. And what I love is being able to be a part of that. So I always say to the brides and grooms, your day is already special. You know, you're getting married. So that's already special. And your friends and family are there, or, you know, during this time, a smaller amount of people are there. So the music to me is just to create an atmosphere. So I love being able to set up a certain atmosphere. So as I said before, if it's, you know, I love, like, when people are arriving at a ceremony, I like to play music for the first 5 minutes with my band just to relax everyone. There can be that awkward moment when everyone's walking to the church or walking into the, you know, people are a bit nervous. And so I like to just play some music just to relax everyone. So I like to be part of that, sort of calming everyone down, calming the bride down, you know, if the groom's got a bit of nerves, or if the, you know, the groom and the groom, or the bride and the bride, whoever's got the nerves, I just want to make sure they're feeling okay. That, and also I love being a part of the party side of things as well, or just celebration, and just music's such a great way to express and celebrate and bring people together. You know, obviously I'm talking COVID and non-COVID, we can't bring that many people together right now, but when things open up and we can, it's or on Zoom, bringing people together as well. So yeah, that was a long answer. Sorry.
Absolutely. And, look, I mean, testimonial to you. It's great that having someone live, as opposed to, especially from a ceremony perspective. I think, you know, when you're walking down the aisle and having that special moment, and having that beautiful choral, amazing angelic voice just, you know, echo through your venue, or, you know, whether it's outdoors or indoors or what have you, it's just something so surreal and actually quite emotional.
Yes.
So do you want to elaborate a bit about that, or?
Yeah, I think it's so true. I've had a couple of friends say to me, I might just save the music for the reception or for the pre-drinks, and even for my ceremony, I'll just get a CD or a, well, it's a bit old school, iPhone, and showing I was born in the 80s. And so anyway, but I always say that there's nothing quite like that healing quality of live music. And one of my side jobs is I do a lot of music therapy, and there's actually so much study to say that, I know it's a bit deep, but you know, there's a bodily effect that you get when you hear live music. So whether it's hearing a piano player or a singer, or even if you're in the city and you hear a busker, and it kind of just has an effect on you. So I think that I always say that to people, you know, when you're looking at booking music for your wedding, it really does have an effect on people. As you said, like you hear that, you know, that beautiful voice as you're walking down the aisle, or, you know, you do your first dance, and sometimes people say to me, I might do my first dance to my favorite song just using the iPad, and that's fine too. But I think that live music just gives that extra touch and just adds a real sparkle to the day, I think, is a way of saying it, like a real something extra. So yeah.
Totally agree.
Right.
Well, as always, thank you so much, Georgia.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Melbourne loves you. We love you very much.
And thank you, Sam. So beautiful.
Thank you so much for your contribution to our industry. And so I guess from the love of music, we move along to, I guess we can say, loving ourselves on the day of the wedding. And we're talking about the amazing talents of individual people who are hair and makeup. I have a very special lady who caters in both fields. Her name is Monika Hodkinson, and she is online with us. She's going to share all her amazing, I guess, tips and ideas. And I'm pretty confident, Monika, we're going to have a few questions popping up in relation to that, because looking good is key to a wedding day.
It certainly is. It is key to a wedding day. Brides need to feel confident about themselves to be able to walk down the aisle, feeling confident. I have done in the middle bit between our two lockups, I've done a few Zoom type, what's the word I'm looking for, makeup lessons, so that the brides could do their own when we weren't actually allowed to go and do them. But the girls have come back to me and said, it's not been as nice. We've had that little wedding, but we're going to go back and we're going to do the big wedding. I've been around as mobile hair and makeup artistry now for probably about 5-6 years. I'm a qualified hair and makeup artist, and I'm also a qualified diploma qualified beauty therapist. So the whole COVID hygiene thing is nothing new to me. Hygiene is something that's been so drummed into me that having a dirty kit just isn't something that I could do. But since COVID's come along, I've gone even that little bit further. So unless I can scrape it, spray it, squeeze it, or shake it, it doesn't sit in my kit. There is no, in pre-COVID, germs can't live in dry things like eyeshadow and the like, and I just use the same brush and dip back in again, and it wasn't an issue. But now eyeshadows and things get scraped onto palettes and used from palettes, which are then sterilised before they're used again. So that's something that is, to me, hugely important. Hygiene's always been a big factor. Working with the brides is such an amazing thing on the morning that it really starts for the bride to, it hits home when you're putting the flowers in the hair or the veil in the hair and they start to cry. That's when you know you've copped it and you've done the right things. So I love being there. I'm sick of playing with these guys. I really want to get my hands into some real hair, but it's the way it is, and we've just got to go along with what we've got to do.
Well, I guess today's a good day for you, Monika, because today you guys were allowed to reopen.
I'm not actually a hairdresser. I'm only a hairstylist.
Right.
Hairdressers cut and colour. I don't cut and colour. To me,
Right.
that's way beyond. I only do hair and makeup for special occasions. So like weddings, the races, if you're going to a slap up birthday party or something along those lines, I don't cut and colour. But other than that, yeah, I wish they'd opened yesterday. Then I would have been and gone and had one myself.
That's great. Well, we've got, like I thought, questions coming through, and it says, on average, how long does it take to get each person's hair and makeup done?
Okay. I allow an hour per makeup and an hour for hair. Mm-hmm. And the way I do it is I usually set the hair first. I know girls are going to go, oh, set, but it gives the hair movement. It makes it easier to style. So I set the hair, whether it's with tongs or straighteners or whatever, but I set the hair first, then I do the makeup, then I go back to the hair. And now with extra hygiene in between, obviously there's a lot of hand washing and stuff like that that goes on in between all of those steps. So that's allowing just that little bit longer. So
okay, that's great. I guess leading up to the big day, do you offer the opportunity for those walking down the aisle for a trial of some sort, or to get some sort of insight or idea of what you recommend. And with recommending, I mean, have you ever had it come across individuals that have an idea in their mind, yet you've actually swayed them to do something different?
Not so much that I've swayed them to do something different, but that they've looked at the style that they've chosen and then decided that it doesn't really suit their facial features. I'm a huge believer in trials, previews, whatever you want to call it, so that the girls actually get to see what the finished look is like. I tend to work mainly with the more natural type of style. I can do all the others. I can do your way out there Bollywood or your very glam, glitzy, glittery types. But what I really enjoy doing the most is the very more natural, because your wedding photos are going to be photos that are going to be on your wall for the next 10 years or longer. And you don't want to look at them in 10 years' time and say, oh my God, what was I thinking? So therefore, I like to stick with the more natural stuff. And some of the girls that have given us photos or given me photos of the real glittery eye or the hair that's been, you know, all out one side or something, and then we've recreated that, and they've looked at it and gone, no, it's not really what I want after all, or no, that doesn't. To me, the whole thing starts with the dress, and you work with the dress and the face shape and all that type of thing. So it is, to me, a trial's really important to make sure that the girls have got the right thing on their wedding day.
That's great. No, that's really, really good. And obviously you assist with, you know, headpieces and things like that. Do you provide those, or do you encourage them to go out and get them externally? Do you
headpieces? You mean like veils?
I think the question that's come through is probably more so, I guess, in relation to, I'm assuming, like tiaras or something like that, or brooches and things like that. Yeah.
I've got a whole variety of headpieces like that we can play with at the trial. But then either I can then, depending on time frame, either I can then obtain those for the girls. I've got a couple of good wholesalers that I can get them from, or they can go ahead and they can get their own. But I like to work with my sample pieces at the trial so that we work out exactly what it is, because once they've gone out and spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars, whether it's what eventually suits or not, can be a scary thought for them.
Great. No, it's great. It's a great. I think it's a great option and a great service that you do provide, Monika, and one that's very, very valuable. And clearly you can tell that you've been around doing this for many years, and you enjoy it, and which is amazing. So that's even more better. So and more special, and you're mobile, which is even more convenient. Which that's one thing that I do hear quite a lot. You know, oh, I have to get up earlier because my hairdresser won't come to me, and things like that. And you know, from what I see, it's only a handful of people of your standard that actually do go to the client's house these days. So I think it's very noble of you, and I think it's a great service that you offer. So yeah, keep on doing what you're doing and making everyone look fabulous and beautiful. I think it's an amazing job. So I think we'll give Monika a round of applause, another virtual round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess from looking great and fabulous, we move along to, I guess, structure, which is very, very important. And structure is key to a wedding. And I think it's from the beginning of the day, from the moment you wake up, right through to the end you leave your function or reception. And by that, I'm making reference to the option of having a wedding planner on the day, or a coordinator if you wish to be using a different term. And I'm making reference to another special lady who, by the name of Kylie Thomas. Kylie, it's great to have you on board. And,
Hi.
Hello. And so I'm sure hearing what you need to talk about in terms of structure and the importance of it. I mean, one thing that I hear is everyone wants everything to run smoothly, and I'm sure that's the key word with you as well. So let's talk about what you as a wedding planner is all about, and your service. I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Hi, everyone. Wow. Look, firstly, a big thank you to Byrne Entertainment for inviting me here, and how amazing everyone has been with all the guests, with all your speeches, with everything. A great group of suppliers here, and you couples out there that are watching and that are really getting some great advice from all of them. Me as a wedding planner, I'm your voice of reason when it comes to how you have everything. Like my aim is to be able to create your vision. Of course, with COVID, there's changes with that vision, because you can't have that big old bells and whistles that you originally wanted. But as time goes on and restrictions ease, we can start to see a lot more of that in there. In regards to myself, I work closely with you as a couple, and I do mean a couple, guys and girls together. It's both your special day. I am not sort of like everyone out there will always, you know, for the bride, it's your day, it's your day, it's your day, but it's also the groom's day as well. And I'm a big believer of that. So I am there for your support for both of you. I will help you to bring that vision to light. I will be there for your budgeting and help you through to be able to budget for your wedding. When you first start and you work out what day you want, and you're going to go through to look at venues and things, you may not have an idea of what your budget is that you want to have. I can help you with that. I can help you with your guest list, so you can organise what sort of guests you want and how many you're going to have there, depending on when you're having your wedding, of course. But I'm sort of, to sum it all up, I'm your financial advisor. I am your administration officer. I am, as I mentioned before, your voice of reason. I am your punching bag. If you need an emotional punching bag, if something's just not going the way you want it and you just need to vent, you can pick up the phone and you can go, Kylie, please, I need to just vent. I am here for that. I will help you to get through the tough times, because I know weddings are stressful. I was a bride myself, and I was one of those brides that were like, oh, you know, plan my wedding, everything's all good, I'm not going to stress out. By the end of it, I told my mum, if I ever go through this again, please shoot me. So I will be there with you every step of the way. Laughs, tears, temper tantrums, the whole lot, to be able to create you and your partner the ideal day and get you down that aisle so that you can both say, I do, because that there is the main goal of the day. So in regards to what I offer, so of course, full wedding planning, I offer on the day, so I can be there to oversee the entire day for you, make sure everything runs smoothly for you, for your guests, and for the suppliers and the venue. And I also offer one-off consultations. So for those couples that are out there that are on a really tight budget and can't afford to have a wedding planner, I can offer you services that are just going to help you out on just those few little bits and pieces that you do need to get help with, whether it's just sourcing some supplies for your day or trying to find that perfect venue and you're just really struggling and you need that advice. So I'm going to quickly share with you a PowerPoint presentation just to show you what I've actually got in regards to our my COVID plan for you guys. So I have my wedding planning package that you can have. As you can see, all my consultations are done via Zoom for you guys. So this is to keep you guys safe, to keep myself safe and everything. But this is especially so that we can all keep that social distancing. I do not need to be physically in front of you face to face to be able to help you plan your wedding. We can do this via video to help you get through everything that needs to be done. I mean, it does feel better when you're personally there and we can sit down and have a cuppa and a chit chat and all that sort of stuff. But for the moment, this is how I've got my plan in place. For the full wedding planning package, I have currently got my on-the-day coordination removed. Now, this is mainly because things are so tight at the moment with the numbers of guests that you can actually have, unless you honestly feel that you need to have me there to help you through the day. I do not want to take your guest numbers away from you. So I am not going to physically be there on the day. I can be there for you via video, via phone call. I can be there via phone for your suppliers and for your venue, but I just don't want to be there for you on the day physically because I don't want you to lose out on your guest numbers. And this goes into the actual on the day coordination. So I do have a standalone coordination package, which, as I mentioned before, I don't have in place at the moment. But once things ease up and the restrictions are a lot better and you can have a lot more people there and there's a lot more flexibility, then we can bring that back into play. Then we have my one-off consultations, which I mentioned to you before, where we can have a Zoom consultation just to chat about budgeting, finding suppliers, whatever it is that you need help with to get you through those tough times. Now, I just have a little video to show you. This is a video that has been put together by Michael. I can't remember his last name. I'm a duffer. But this was done at Over Newton Castle by quite a few of the suppliers that are actually on here today. They were actually involved as well. And this just shows you what me and the team of suppliers can actually create for you, as well as some of this behind the scenes stuff that you will actually see as well. So I'm hoping that everyone can hear this. I will turn it down. So as you see, this is Monika doing the makeup here. And we've got beautiful Mustangs. And we've got Lorenzo and Georgia there in the background. How do I get back? Here we go. Oh, I got back before. How did I get back? Stop share. There we go. Oops. Sorry, guys. All right. So I hope everyone had a look. That just gives you a real sneak peek onto, you know, me, myself as a wedding planner. I'm behind the scenes and helping you put everything together. But your suppliers are the ones that bring everything to life in the sense of your photography, your video, your hair, your makeup. You know, your Celebrant is there to help you guys to tie the knots. You know, they bring your ceremony and your story to life. Your band or DJ or MC and singers, or whoever it is that you want to have there, is going to set the mood and everything for you. So, so me, myself, I can't take all the credit and say that I'm the one that's going to create the whole vision, because it's the team of suppliers that I work alongside together as a team. We bring the whole lot together for you. So I hope I've helped everyone there a little bit, just somewhat. And yeah, thank you again for having me here. And I hopefully look forward to seeing some of you couples in the near future.
Thank you, Kylie. Thank you so much. Without a doubt, you do offer a valuable service, and you know, and I think a service like yours, especially for those who, I guess you can say, and I come across a lot of interstate couples that choose to get married in Melbourne or where have you, you know, need that guidance, and I think you're ideal for that, and you know, I see that quite often. So well done in what you do and your contribution you make in this industry.
Thank you.
And it's very, very valuable. So thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all our speakers for this evening. We do have a question. I guess it's directed to all our suppliers, and it's a very direct question. And I think we can all answer it with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And I think I know what the answer is going to be. And the question is, are you all currently taking bookings for next year, 2021? Okay, that's great. So that was a very reoccurring question. And pretty much that was the final question for this Zoom session. Once again, before we do wrap up and before I do hand it over to Michelle, I'd just like to thank you all for joining us. Again, to all our suppliers under the Bloom banner, Sarah, Andrew, Georgia, Monika and Kylie, you're amazing people. Personally, it's a privilege to work with each and every one of you, and your contribution to this industry is priceless. So personally, I want to say thank you. Thank you for reaching out to the wider audience who are currently, you know, in a bit of limbo and so forth. But we hope that this forum has, you know, lifted, you know, a bit of, you know, dark clouds and opening up a bit of sunshine. And always remember, it will get better. And we all just hope to be part of it. For all of you that are online. Again, any questions in relation to each supplier, please do reach out to Michelle at Bloom Entertainment. She will distribute all relevant content of what items of discussion to you all from tonight. And I encourage you all over the next 4 weeks, please join in on Monday night at 7 p.m. I'll be here every Monday. So. And hosting these or co-hosting these forums with Michelle. So I would love you all to spread the word to your friends and colleagues, and yeah, let's make this even bigger and better. So thank you once again, and I hand it over to Michelle.
Sam, thank you so much for facilitating the night. It was absolutely amazing. Suppliers, you're great. We're so lucky to work with all of you. Thank you for making the night interesting and enjoyable and so informative. I know that there are so many couples out there at the moment who have so many questions and don't know where to turn. So hopefully we've been able to answer some of those questions tonight. And obviously, as you said, Sam, over the next 4 weeks, there's definitely going to be a lot of different suppliers and lots more questions, I'm sure. So I just wanted to really say thank you to yourself, to all of the suppliers who were here tonight to try and help our couples on their wedding journey. Obviously, to everybody who tuned in tonight, thank you. We loved having you here. Thank you for your questions. We really appreciate that. We have got another 4 sessions coming up. So every Monday for the next 4 weeks, 25 suppliers in total that you can come on and hear from and ask your questions to. So hopefully we will see you back again next week and in the next few weeks. But until then, good night. Thank you for coming, and we will see you soon.
Well, bye.
Night, everyone.
So take my hand, take my whole life too, 'cause I can't help falling in love with you.
Kiss me out of the beaded barley nightly, beside the green, green grass. Swing, swing, swing that spinning step. I'll wear those shoes and you will wear that dress. Oh, kiss me beneath the milky twilight. Lead me out on the moonlit floor. How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer with every heartbeat. I fall in love whenever we meet. I'm asking you 'cause you know about these things. How will I know if he's thinking of me? I try the phone, but I'm too shy. Can't speak. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass. I'm listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. You've been my inspiration. Through the lies, you were the truth. My world is a better place because of you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best